It is the 20th of August, and I'm in the office at ears of Dave Lloyd. And Dave, you're an Ephrata boy from long standing, actually neighbors of mine growing up, I think.
Yeah, I've been a lifelong member of the Ephrata community.
Yeah, and you went to college where? Where'd you go to school?
I went to Catawba College, Salisbury, North Carolina.
In North Carolina? What drew you there?
Football.
Okay, oh, you get a scholarship there. And from there, where was the next stop?
My next stop was in Salisbury, North Carolina. I taught for a year. Taught what? Physical education.
Okay. So was your degree in phys ed?
I have a degree in phys ed and recreation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from
there, I moved back to Ephrata. I coached football at Ephrata High School, junior high football for 3 years, and substitute taught, worked at the rec center those 3 years. In 1978, a full-time position opened up at the rec center, and I took that. And
now, by then, the rec center was up.
That was the first year the rec center was on Academy Drive.
First year?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it opened in 78.
Because before that, well, not this building, it was the next building.
Door.
Next door to here, which was where Ears was not.
Ears is still there. We have one of our major SSU units, social. SSU. It's social. It's intellectually disabled adults that really don't have the skills for vocational endeavors, and we have socialization, recreation, and those type of things next door.
Now, when did you become rec director?
I became the director in 1994.
And 94 to 2012?
2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
A long run.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, a little bit about Ears. Ears started in the bag factory there on Locust Street, as I remember.
It did. About 43 years ago, it started over there with a mission, again, to develop supports for intellectually disabled adults for things to do. Over the last 42 years, we have over 200. Well, we have 254 clients. We have vocational operations.
Define that a little bit.
Well, vocational is, I think some people would think like sheltered workshop or those type of things.
Well, like over in Fulton.
Fulton Street is our major one. We do a lot of piecework. We get jobs that either work a minimum wage or piecework. A lot are piecework. We do mail assemblies for different companies.
Right. I saw a guy downtown with an Ears vest on, watering the plants.
We have a mobile work crew, and we maintain the plantings in the square of Ephrata.
Any other mobile outside work?
We do mowings. We do cleanings.
So large service.
We clean churches, those type of things.
Oh, be nice.
And so we have a vocational unit there, which has 85 employees. Huh. We have a small one next door here at Cloister Avenue. We have one in the city of Lebanon.
Okay.
So
you're out of the county then?
We're out of the county. About 15 years ago, in Lebanon County, their services dried up, and at the time there was a gentleman on the board of directors here from Lebanon, and we migrated out of need in Lebanon County.
So you have the vocational section, including this outreach thing. Now, what other segments do you have?
Then we have a job placement program for intellectually disabled. It's called STAR, and we place intellectually disabled adults in for employment. We provide one-on-one training and counseling for those employers.
What types of employment do you find for folks like this?
Well, we have people, Sheets is market. We have them in some grocery stores.
Bagging?
Maintenance, those type of things. There's a broad variety. There's a broad section of intellectually disabled, from people who can actually have a driver's license, but you know, have some impairments in their education.
Now, what do you serve a lower functioning group as well?
Well, our SSU, our social unit in 29 Cloister Avenue, is a lower functioning. Now we do have some contracts up in Lebanon, for example, with Renova with some severely disabled individuals.
What kind of work do they do?
They don't. It's a socialized, almost a day operation that those people come and.
So they come in from group homes?
Renova has contract homes, so they bring them in, and we provide a daycare type concept.
It gets them out of the house and gives them a place to go.
Yeah, again, it's kind of a recreation-based activity.
How did you get involved with ears?
Well, I got my dad was on this board many years ago, and
were you folks with the Bethany Church?
No. Somebody, Jim Getz, who was very active, got my dad on in on this, and my dad passed away about 7 years ago, and it was probably about 2 years after. I mean, been always interested in this. We had some correlations of programs at the rec center with ears. And I was asked to serve in the board. It was after my father died. It was kind of a legacy type thing, and I took it, and I became president of the board of directors here. And in this job, we went through some management changes here at Ears, and we opened up the job, and I applied for it and went through the process.
In your professional practice, is there something that is like a belief, a firm faith that is the support of it, fundamental to what you do professionally?
Well, I think my firm faith is social interaction. I believe that obviously I've worked for nonprofits all my life. But I believe there's a duty for mankind to serve as community in one way or another, and I really believe in social consciousness. Sometimes I get rambling, and I think to my own friends and counterparts it may sound wild, but I really believe that that's the cornerstone of our country. A democratic way of life, and since we're talking about civility, they all interlock to me as to, and I guess my many years, my 34 years in recreation, and I see that we're really not developing that in young people today. Our curriculum in schools. I mean, there's a lot of kids that grow up. I mean, fortunately, you and I grew up in a household that we had parents that were very active in our community. So I think it became second nature to us to serve the community in different ways. Today, in this busy world, 2 bread earners in the household. Johnny's got to go to soccer, then he's at piano lessons. There's just no and you're not only kids, but I'm seeing many young adults who are not seeing leadership develop within our community, and we don't see people stepping up to the plate and taking leadership in our schools and our municipalities. I think we're seeing it in our churches, but there's a somewhat limited capacity, and those are the kind of things I think in developing civility that. We've really kind of lost social consciousness, and I think there's apathy about it, really. And if I'm confronted about it, it's usually apathy as to, hey, this is just the way the world is. And
but there could be the argument. Somebody could come to you and say, by establishing an organization like this, you're encouraging families with special needs to come in, and therefore bringing down the whole level of our community and costing the taxpayer money because they've got to pay for the school systems. I mean, you are actually doing us a disservice by bringing in an unsatisfactory element. How would you respond to somebody with that argument?
Well, that's true in a sense. I mean, that's the essence of nonprofit. I mean, nonprofit has entered into our society where society really doesn't seem it can handle the situation, and government can't either. So the nonprofits formed to bridge that gap and say, how can we make a better community? You know, I often talk about, you know, one of the old borough managers here in Ephrata used to talk about the jewels in the crown, in our community crown. And, you know, here in Ephrata, we're just so fortunate that we have, in our community crown, we have these great jewels. You know, we have the library, we have the rec, we have the social services, we have ears, we have a hospital, we have a hometown bank that's invested in our community through scholarships. I mean, there are all these jewels, and you know,
and to be more practical, we have our own power system, we have our own sewage system, which we're. I mean, we have the mechanics of running a community too.
I mean, it's and it's the type of thing most people do not really are really cognizant about it, and you know, and again, as you get older here, you appreciate it more.
Why shouldn't ears be why can't we privatize ears? Make it a for-profit company?
Well, the essence of a lot of nonprofit is that you have servant leadership. You have people working below industry standards. Okay. And they're doing the work.
You mean as far as income?
It's income. You know, you know,
it's more of a mission than a career?
It's more of a mission, right. It's a way of life, I think. That's what that's my old adage. It's a way of life. You go about it, and you try to serve your community to make a better community. I mean, the nonprofit, again, can bring all these players to the table, which government has its own limitations, its own strings. The private sector has its own strings. And then you bring the community in, so you develop a three-headed funding source. You know, the private industry, government, and can do a lot more.
Yeah, it's private industry that's giving you the contracts over at Fulton Street, right?
It's private industry making commitments to the communities that they serve themselves.
So you have donations, you mean?
Oh, sure. But you know, if you talk to most entrepreneurs that have businesses here that employ, and we don't have that many anymore, but they want their people to live in the area. Mm-hmm. You know, if you talk to the major big businesses out around the Turnpike, for example, there's a lot of big number of employers. Sure. They want the people to live here. Uh-huh. They don't want them going to Hempfield or Manheim Township. They want them living in their area, and so they're interested in the jewels of the crown of the community to make it a better place to live.
Well, Dave, thanks a lot, and this will be.